My name is Wendy Dixon. I'm 32 years old. 3 weeks ago, my parents stood up at their 40th wedding anniversary dinner and announced to 30 guests, "We're taking the entire family to Hawaii next week for another celebration." Everyone applauded. My sister shrieked with excitement. I smiled, already picturing palm trees and ocean breezes, my first real getaway in years. Then I made the mistake of asking a simple question. "What time is our flight?" My father looked at me like I'd spoken another language. My mother's smile stiffened. And in front of every guest in that room, my dad said, "You don't need to know, Wendy. You're not included on this trip. Someone has to stay behind and watch the kids." 30 pairs of eyes. 30 witnesses to the moment my family told me I wasn't truly family at all. But here's what they didn't realize. I had a secret. One I'd been building for 3 years. And that night, I decided it was finally time to use it. Before I tell you what happened next, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story connects with you, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now, to understand why I walked away from everything I knew, let me take you back to the start. The Dixon family lives in a white colonial house in the suburbs of Boston. 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage, lawn trim to HOA perfection. The kind of house that announces, "We made it," to anyone driving by. My father, Harold Dixon, retired 3 years ago from his role as a branch manager at a regional bank. My mother, Patricia, has never held a paid job in her life, but she'll tell you she's busier than any CEO, leading the church women's committee, coordinating neighborhood fundraisers, protecting what she calls our family's reputation. Then there's my sister Megan, 3 years younger than me, married to Derek Hartley, a corporate attorney at a firm downtown whose name she weaves into every conversation. They have 2 kids, a 5-year-old named Oliver and a 3-year-old named Sophie, and a brand new Lexus SUV that always claims the prime spot in our parents' driveway. My Honda Civic, the one I've been driving for 10 years. It gets parked on the street. "Wendy, move your car." My mother would say whenever I visited, "Derek's bringing the Lexus," and guests notice what's in the driveway first. I never challenged it. I just moved my car. That's the thing about being the invisible one in your family. You stop seeing all the small ways they've already decided you don't count. The better parking space, the preferred seat at the table, the way your mother introduces your sister to guests by her husband's job title. While you're just Wendy, she helps out. I work as a part-time accountant, mostly remote clients, flexible hours, modest income. Nothing remarkable by Dixon family standards, but I never told them about the other thing I do. The thing I began 3 years ago after my life fell apart in a different way. I never told them I'd learned to truly see. Let me paint you a picture of what helping out looks like in the Dixon family. Thanksgiving. I arrive at 6 a.m. to start the turkey. I set the table with my mother's Wedgwood china, the set I'm not allowed to use, only to clean. I arrange the flowers, polish the silver, coordinate the timing of 7 side dishes. Megan arrives at noon in a cashmere sweater, kisses everyone hello, and sits down to be served. Christmas, same routine, plus wrapping all the presents my mother bought because her arthritis is flaring up. Funny how her arthritis never stops her from playing bridge 3 times a week. Birthday parties for my niece and nephew. I'm the entertainment planner, the cleanup crew, and the backup babysitter all in one. Last year, I spent 8 hours running Oliver's dinosaur-themed party while Megan got a manicure because she needed a break. The one time I asked if maybe, just maybe, I could skip a family event because I had a deadline for a client, my mother's voice turned icy. "Family comes first, Wendy. We all make sacrifices. Except I'm the only one who ever seems to make them." The breaking point arrives in small moments, like the year I received my Christmas gift, a kitchen apron that said "World's Best Aunt" in glittery letters. Megan gave it to me. She smiled like she'd done something meaningful. I wore it. I wore it every single time I came over to cook, clean, and babysit. Do you want to know when I understood the truth? It struck me one ordinary Tuesday evening while I was scrubbing my mother's Le Creuset pot after yet another family dinner. I couldn't remember the last time anyone had invited me anywhere without expecting me to work. 3 years ago, my life fell apart. I'd been seeing a man named Kevin for 4 years. We talked about marriage, about children, about a future. Then one night, he sat me down and said the words I'll never forget. I love you, Wendy, but I don't think I'm in love with you anymore. You're just there. You're always just there. Always just there. Like furniture, like wallpaper. After he left, I drifted into a pawn shop downtown. I don't know why. Maybe I was searching for something to fill the emptiness. That's when I saw it. A Canon DSLR camera. Used but well cared for. Priced at $180. I bought it with money I should have saved. I told no one. That camera became my secret. I began photographing things most people overlook. Elderly women at bus stops. The exhausted faces of overnight janitors. The weathered hands of a street vendor. People society looks straight through. The same way my family looks straight through me. I called the series Invisible Women. I created an anonymous Instagram account. No face, no real name, just the images. Over 3 years, I built 12,000 followers, people who noticed what I noticed, people who understood. I kept the camera wrapped in an old cashmere scarf at the back of my closet. It was the only thing I ever kept for myself. 3 weeks before my parents' anniversary party, I received an email I almost deleted as spam. It was from a gallery in Monterey, California, Coastal Light Gallery, asking if I'd be interested in discussing my work. I stared at that email for 20 minutes before I realized my hands were trembling, but I didn't respond. Not yet, because good things didn't happen to people like me. There's one person in my family who truly sees me. Her name is Ruth, and she's my mother's younger sister. Aunt Ruth is what my mother calls the family disappointment. She never married. She pursued her passion for ceramics instead of getting a real job. 20 years ago, she moved to Carmel by the sea to open a small cafe with a pottery studio in the back. My mother has never forgiven her. Ruth threw away her potential. My mother likes to say she could have had a good life, but she chose to play with clay. I've been calling Aunt Ruth every Sunday night for 7 years. My mother doesn't know. It was Aunt Ruth who first saw my photographs. I'd sent her one, just one, testing the waters, and her response made me cry. Wendy, this is remarkable. You have a gift. Nobody had ever called anything I did remarkable. She was the one who encouraged me to keep shooting, to keep posting. And she was the one who 3 weeks before my parents' anniversary said something that changed everything. Wendy, I hope you don't mind, but I shared your Instagram link with someone, a gallery owner I know in Monterey. His name is Marcus Coleman. He's searching for emerging artists. I nearly dropped the phone. Aunt Ruth, that's the gallery that emailed me. I know, sweetheart. He told me he wants to speak with you about a solo exhibition. Silence, my heart racing. But that's real. That's an actual career opportunity. Yes, it is. Her voice was soft but steady. And you deserve it. You don't need anyone's approval to chase what you love. I learned that lesson late. You don't have to. That night, I responded to Marcus Coleman's email. Now, let me take you to the night that changed everything. My parents' 40th wedding anniversary, a milestone worthy of a celebration, according to my mother, which meant 30 guests, a catered menu that I would help with to save money, and an evening of honoring the Dixon family's 4 decades of picture-perfect marriage. The preparation began a week earlier. I took 3 days off from my accounting clients to help organize. I ordered flowers, white roses, and peonies per my mother's instructions. I hand-wrote 60 place cards in the calligraphy she demanded. I coordinated with the caterer, ironed the tablecloths, polished the Waterford crystal glasses that had been a wedding gift 40 years ago. On the day of the party, I arrived at 7 a.m. I wore jeans and a t-shirt because there was no reason dressing up when I'd be in the kitchen for the next 10 hours. By 6 p.m., the house looked flawless. Candles flickered on every surface. The dining table stretched across the living room set for 30 with my mother's finest china. I had changed into a simple black dress. Nothing elaborate, nothing that would attract attention. Wendy. My mother's voice stopped me in the hallway. She looked me over, frowning. Is that what you're wearing? It's black. I thought it was suitable. It's fine, I guess. Just stay in the background. Tonight is about your father and me. I nodded. I always nodded. Guests began arriving at 7. The men in sports coats, the women in cocktail dresses, former colleagues, church friends, neighbors whose lawns were as pristine as ours. 30 people who thought they knew the Dixon family. None of them knew me at all. And in 3 hours, that wouldn't matter anymore. Megan arrived at 7:15, perfectly timed for maximum effect. She glided through the front door in a red wrap dress, Diane von Furstenberg, she'd announced to anyone who asked, with Derek behind her in a charcoal suit, and their 2 children dressed like catalog models. My mother hurried to embrace her, exclaiming over how